Carlo Acutis, born in England on May 3, 1991, and passing away on October 12, 2006 in Monza, Italy, was declared venerable by the Catholic Church after a miracle attributed to Carlo was approved in February 2020. His beatification took place on October 10, 2020. Carlo Acutis hailed from an Italian family originally from Lombardy. His parents, Andrea Acutis and Antonia Salsa, were in London, England for professional reasons in May 1991. After Carlo's birth, the Acutis family returned to Italy in September 1991. 057, they settled in Milan a few months later. Raised in a fairly traditional but non-practicing family, Carlo showed an early penchant for piety. He enjoyed praying in churches and, during family trips, insisted that his parents visit the region's sanctuaries. Carlo attended primary and secondary school with the Marcelin sisters and later enrolled in the Leon XIII Classical High School, run by the Jesuits. From a young age, he had a special devotion to the Eucharist and the Virgin Mary, whom he later referred to as the only woman in his life. He had a particular fascination with the apparitions of Our Lady of Lourdes and the Virgin of Fatima. Carlo was also passionate about the lives of the saints, with Luis Gonzaga, Tarcisio, Francis of Assisi, Anthony of Padua, Dominic Savio, and the three shepherds of Fatima, Francisco Marto, Jacinta Marto, and Lucia dos Santos, serving as his role models. His mother even took theology classes to answer Carlo's theological questions. Carlo expressed his desire to receive Holy Communion, which he referred to as my expressway to heaven. To address what they considered a mere whim, his parents consulted Monsignor Pasquale Macchi, former secretary of Pope Paul VI. Upon recognizing the child's spiritual maturity, the prelate authorized Carlo to receive his first communion at the age of 7. The ceremony took place at the Ambrosian Monastery of Perigo on June 16, 1998. From that point forward and until his death, Carlo attended daily Mass, firmly believing that approaching the Eucharist every day takes us straight to paradise. He also recited the Rosary daily and went for confession once a week. He later became a catechist, teaching the children of his parish. His adolescence mirrored that of any other young person, with a deep love for friends, soccer, music, and animals. He spent part of his free time volunteering to help the homeless at soup kitchens and working as a catechist. He was particularly interested in the world of information technology and communication and had a strong passion for computers. Carlo demonstrated considerable talent in this field, editing videos and creating websites, particularly for his parish and high school. He devoted himself to serving children, the elderly, and the less fortunate, making this world more accessible to them. For this reason, he is considered a possible patron of the Internet. An IT enthusiast, Carlo conceived and organized audiovisual material related to his religious beliefs, particularly on the Eucharist and Eucharistic miracles. He pioneered the use of these materials for the widespread dissemination of religious content. His most significant work was an exhibition on Eucharistic miracles, the result of 2 years of research and travel, with his parents' involvement. This exhibition showcased a total of 136 Eucharistic miracles recognized by the Catholic Church, complete with photographs and descriptions. Initially, it was a simple website, but it later materialized into a physical exhibition that has since been displayed across all 5 continents. In the United States alone, It has been showcased in thousands of parishes, as well as universities. It has also been exhibited in hundreds of parishes worldwide, including some of the most famous Marian shrines like Fatima, Lourdes, and Guadalupe. In terms of education, Carlo attended Marcelline School in Milan and later joined the Leon XIII High School, which was run by the Jesuits. His teachers recognized him for his excellent academic performance, and his peers appreciated his sense of humor, generosity, and kindness. In the school's chapel, Carlo exerted a certain influence through his example, emphasizing the significance of the Eucharist as the path to heaven. In his free time, he visited the elderly and saved money to help those in need. He often said, "Happiness is looking at God, sadness is looking at yourself." In early October 2006, Carlo fell ill, initially appearing to have a common flu. However, it was diagnosed as leukemia of the most aggressive type, M3. There was no chance of a cure. As he entered the hospital, Carlo told his mother, "I won't leave here." Later, he informed his parents that he was offering his suffering for the Pope and the Catholic Church to avoid purgatory and go directly to heaven. When nurses asked him how he felt amid the pain, Carlo replied, "I'm fine, there are people who suffer much more than I do." This awakened his mother's fatigue, and she expressed concerns. Carlo asked for the anointing of the sick, and 3 days after his diagnosis, on October 12, 2006, he passed away at the San Gerardo Hospital in Monza, Italy. Before knowing about his illness, Carlo had recorded a video in which he expressed his wish to be buried in Assisi if he were to die. Though there have been reports in various newspapers and on social media that his body remains incorrupt after 14 years since his death, a statement released on October 1, 2020, by the Diocese of Assisi, through Bishop Waldo Tad and not the Dominican Bishop Sorrentino, clarified that these claims do not correspond to the truth. During the exhumation at the cemetery in Assisi, which took place on January 23, 2019, as part of the process for the transfer to the sanctuary, his body was found in a normal state of post-mortem decomposition, though somewhat transformed but with several parts still in their anatomical connection. The body had been treated with preservation and integration techniques, which are commonly practiced for the dignified exposition of the remains of beatified and saintly figures. This was an operation carried out with artistry and devotion. His face was successfully reconstructed using a silicone mask. Additionally, Father Carlo Acutis Goncalves Ferreira, the rector of the Spoliation Sanctuary in Assisi, explained that Carlo Acutis' body was in a very integrated state, though not entirely intact. It still preserved all its organs after death. To preserve it, his body underwent a process of embalming, and a silicone mask was used to reconstruct his face, portraying his likeness accurately. The images of his perfectly recreated face contributed to the confusion during his funeral. Both the church and the cemetery were filled with people. His mother recalled that there were many people she had never met before, including the homeless, immigrants, beggars, and children. Many people approached her to share stories about Carlo and what he had done for them, stories she had been unaware of. Over 200 websites and blogs in different languages now talk about Carlo, and numerous conversion stories linked to him have surfaced after his death. His parents receive letters and prayer requests from around the world. Much of this material was collected during the diocesan beatification phase. The process of canonization was initiated by Cardinal Angelo Scola in the Archdiocese of Milan on May 13, 2013. On November 24, 2016, the diocesan investigation was sent to Rome for further study by the Congregation for the Causes of Saints. Following positive reports from various commissions, Pope Francis declared Carlo Acutis venerable on July 5, 2018, in recognition of his heroic virtues. This swift declaration was met with enthusiasm and is regarded as significant for those who see Carlo as an evangelizing model for the 21st century. His life centered around Jesus, who was at the heart of it all. People transformed by Jesus, possessing a strong friendship with God, become an inspiration to others, radiating the image of God. On June 23, 2018, the canonical recognition of Carlo Acutis' body was confirmed, with the remains displaying a state of incorruptibility, though not entirely intact, as clarified by the Bishop of Assisi. In September 2020, following controversy over the specific language used in the canonization process, Carlo Acutis' remains were transferred to the Sanctuary of the Spoliation in Assisi. During the ceremonies attended by thousands of people, his reconstructed remains were exposed to the veneration of the faithful as part of the preparations for his beatification. On February 21, 2020, Pope Francis approved a miracle attributed to Carlo Acutis, paving the way for his beatification. This miracle involved the inexplicable healing of a child in Brazil. Father Marcelo Tenorio, the vice postulator of Carlo's canonization cause, recounted the event. On October 12, 2010, in the chapel of Our Lady Aparecida in the Campo Grande parish of Mato Grosso do Sul, Brazil, during the blessing with Carlo's relic, a sick child accompanied by his grandfather approached. The child suffered from congenital pancreatic annular pancreas, an ailment that led to constant vomiting and severe weakness. He was so debilitated that he carried a towel with him, anticipating frequent vomiting due to his grave condition. During the blessing, the child asked his grandfather what he should pray for, and he was advised to pray to stop vomiting. Remarkably, this is precisely what happened. When it was the sick child's turn, he touched Carlo's relic and, with a firm voice, said, "Stop vomiting." From that moment onward, he no longer vomited. In February 2011, the family ordered new tests for the child, which revealed that he was completely healed. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like and share our content, and leave your prayer requests in the comments. We'll add them to our prayers, which we'll be publishing. Support us and share the video with your friends, family, and parish acquaintances. God bless you.